You know, one question that I get a lot is, will you work on my vehicle? And the answer is yeah, on two conditions. Number one, you gotta have the right vehicle for the project that we wanna do. And number two, you don't mind when we slice and dice and cut on it and create a junk pile of parts out of pieces that were once part of your vehicle. For example,
Come on back.
this '07
Right
Jeep
over the black
Wrangler
marks.
belongs to the Ray family from Louisiana. And even though it had a mild 2-inch lift on it already, they wanted to take it to the next level. So we decided to help them out and at the same time show you how to build a really cool rig that'll handle some hardcore off-roading, still be reliable enough to drive every day, and look really cool all at the same time. So the first thing that went on was a Skyjacker 4-inch long arm suspension system. We followed that up with 35-inch tall Interco tires and raceline wheels. And finally, we finished it off with xenon fender flares to make this thing look more like a Jeep and less like an SUV. And that brings us up to today and the next project we have planned for this vehicle. Now, obviously, we got a pretty aggressive thing happening here, but these stock bumpers, they ain't happening. With all this plastic on here, they're practically useless on a trail. So we're not only gonna get rid of those, we're gonna put something on here that actually fits what we're doing. Check it out. Now, the secret to good off-road bumpers are options. That way you can custom tailor the bumper to the way you're gonna use the rig. Now, the front bumper we're using here is the Rugged Ridge series from Omix Ada. Features a nice, heavy, strong center section. You got special places here to mount your factory running lights. You got holes to mount D-rings and a hoop and lights, and you can even get one of these to mount a winch if that's what you're gonna need. Now, you can run this bumper just like this, short and stubby. That's for if you've got great big tires that would come up and hit the bumper. Or you can add these extensions to give you more protection out on the side and a more traditional look. The best part is, this bolts right in place of that stock junk. So, let's get to it. It's got it. Now that is the sort of bumper that should be on this thing. But we didn't just bolt it on, no. We also added some D-rings because you can always use those to pull yourselves or a buddy out of a hole. We also put on this bar to protect the front end from trees and bushes and stuff. Now, both Jennifer and Tyler said they wanted more chrome, more polish on the vehicle, so we did that and polished stainless steel. Now, we're also gonna add these KC off-road lights, so we get some serious light blasting down the trail when they're off-roading at night. Now, mounting these things, very simple. They bolt to the bumper. They're sitting back behind the bar here, so they're protected. Then, they come with a complete wiring harness, all the relays that you're gonna need. So it's just a matter of wiring them up inside the cab, and you're ready to go. Now, since we're on the subject of lighting, everybody knows that you can't have too much lighting when you're wheeling at night. And those driving lights right there are 100-watt halogen bulbs, and those will be fine. But we're gonna add a little bit to those. These are KC long-range off-road lights. Now, these feature a 130-watt halogen bulb, and they will flat throw some light out. Now, we're gonna mount these higher, right here, so they'll really throw some light down the trail. Now, obviously, you don't want to have either one of these sets of lights on when you're driving down the street, because if you do, you're gonna fry somebody's eyeballs. Now, of course, this comes with the wiring harness and the relays that you're gonna need, and this special bracket to mount it on the JK. All right, that finishes up the front. Now it's time to do something about the rear. I mean, you really didn't think we were gonna leave this ugly stock bumper and spare tire back here, did you? No, we need something cool. But we still need full access to this tailgate. That is where this comes in. Check it out. This is the Rugged Ridge tubular bumper for the Jeep JK. As you can see, this thing is built to fit the contours of the JK perfectly. But it uses factory mounting points on the frame, so there's no drilling. Has a deep indentation here to mount a bigger spare tire. Then, of course, you've got protection down lower, so nothing's going to get up underneath you, and you even have a receiver hitch. On top of that, you've got this plastic shroud. It mounts like this and fills up this dead area here, so you don't have a big gap between the bottom of the body and the bumper. So, how does this really look? You're about to find out. Now, the one issue that most people have with aftermarket off-road bumpers is once you slide them on, you usually end up with this big gap between the body and the bumper. It just looks awful. But like I said before, these Rugged Ridge bumpers come with this plastic filler panel. It slides in over the top, tucks in underneath. Then when you slide the bumper on, take a look at this. You got a panel that matches the bumper, matches the plastic on the vehicle. It actually looks like it belongs there, not like an afterthought. With the bumper in place, we'll just bolt on the new spare tire, and that's it. Take a look here, man. It's a pretty nice setup, huh? Now, check this out. Still have complete access to the tailgate and the third brake light. It might be a little bit harder to see, but it's still legal. Okay, a couple of requests that Jennifer had for this vehicle was number one, we didn't lift it too high. Number two, we added some sort of a step to help her get up into it. So we wanted to honor that. That's why there's only 4 inches of lift on it. But we still need to add some sort of protection here because this vehicle with this long wheelbase, very susceptible to body damage down here on this rocker from rocks and stumps and things that Michael's going to get into when he's four-wheeling. So we need to add some body armor, and that is over here. This is what Rugged Ridge calls their side armor. Now, first of all, these are strong, made out of heavy-duty steel tubing. Got this lower bar here that's actually going to protect the side of the Jeep, so we're covered there. Then you got this third bar that runs down the side. That's going to give Jennifer a place to step up into the vehicle, so we're covered there. And then finally, they look good. They actually match the bumpers, have the same black crinkle paint on them. So we're covered all the way around. Now, generally when you put something like this on, man, you got to drill the frame, weld them on, do something like that. Not with these. They actually use existing bolts and body mounts, and you're not going to believe how easy these go on. First, remove the body bolts and the big flat washer, followed by the smaller side bolts. Then just set the sidebars in place and bolt them up using the supplied hardware. Take a look at this. It's amazing what a difference a few aftermarket parts can make. And like I said from the beginning, this is all stuff that the average gearhead can do in his garage. Now, I know some of you guys are looking at these body mounts going, I don't know about that. That looks a little weak to me. Let me show you something. Yeah.
These clips are great, but to see full episodes, go to countryroadtv.com.